Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to watch some more chess. I wanted to just start this video real quick on a specific profile page. I did a video last week, maybe a couple weeks ago at this point, on turning in a chess cheater, and chess.com has agreed with my assessment and closed the account for fair play. So you suspect your opponent, go ahead and turn him in. Justice has been served. I feel vindicated. Thank you, chess.com. So let's get a game going. And we get the white pieces. E4. Best by test. A French. Opponent. July of this year. France. He plays the French. Well, let's see if he knows the Chigorin variation of the French. So I blocked in my bishop, and I'm going to, I plan on fianchettoing it with the G3 here. Setting up in a King's Indian attack style. If black isn't careful, he can end up with a very bad bishop here. That's usually the problem in the French, but in this kind of atypical um, attack by white versus the French, I've run into a lot of instances where black feels discombobulated. Okay, so he's developed his bishop. He's preparing to get castled. He's attacking the F2 square. Maybe ideas of bringing the knight into G4, attacking. Okay. So if I just simply develop the bishop to its normal square and I get hit with knight G4, I need to be prepared to castle and give up the rook for the bishop and knight, which isn't a bad deal. It's usually a bad deal for black to give up. I mean, for the side giving up the two minors in this early stage of the game. In the opening, you'd rather have the two pieces and then the rook and the pawn. I've got ideas of just developing my knight, kicking the queen. Depending on where he goes with the queen. Or I could go c3 with an idea of d4, blocking the bishop out. I think I'm just going to develop. I'm gonna carry on with my plan. If he wants to go knight g4, I'll give up the rook and pawn for the two minors. Still had a chance there to go c3, but I really want my knight on c3. Knight on c3, kicking that queen. That's the reason I did not go for that plan. Now if he goes there, I could think about my king castled, so I could think about sacking a pawn. Well, not anymore, because he's put another defender on that square. Um, let's develop our knight and kick the queen. He's got limited squares available. He can go back anywhere along this file, or he can come over here to f5 or h5. h5 pins the knight. It doesn't pin it. The knight defends the queen, so not technically pinned, but suggests a queen trade is in the air. f5 runs into knight h4, doesn't it? Oh, he's attacking here. He's attacking c2. So we lift the pawn and defend c2. He's got the knight coming in here to attack it also, but we can swap knights. No biggie. As is always my goal in the French. It's always my goal in the French to, if possible, trade off everything and just play light square bishop versus light square bishop. And if I can do that in the French, um, I usually have a pretty good game. So he's got lift for his king now. Maybe keeping my knight out of there. He's got a retreat square for his queen also. And I develop my bishop. And aim at the c7 square. Might invite a g5 push, which is pretty committal and weakening. Let's do that. Of course, it might also invite knight to h5, but that hangs c2. Free pawn. Probably going to take that if he lets me. I suppose his option is to drop the bishop back or interpose the bishop to defend. Well, if he gives me the pawn, where do I extract the bishop to? I guess here. But he wants to trade bishops. Okay. Strengthen his center. If I swap, this square has 3 defenders, and I have 3 attackers on it. So I can't plant a piece there. Hmm. Just bring the piece back. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm just gonna bring the piece back. Protect this square. His bishop is biting into this pawn here rather than f2 now. G3 is a stronger point for me. So now if he's got knight g4 ideas attacking the bishop, maybe going for the bishop pair. Can I do against that? Attack the queen. Okay, he's going to develop his light square bishop, just his problem piece. Ten and a half minutes to 12. Keep an eye on the time. Let's see. That queen is just out there, feels kind of exposed, and I would like to try and take advantage of its position if I can. I can currently only attack it with a knight here or here. When we do that, we attack from h4, and the queen is forced to go somewhere. Where's the queen going to go? Queen has this square and this square and this square. From here, I can interpose the light square bishop. And that's forces the queen over here. Let's ask him where he wants to put that queen. Open up our bishop in the process. Attacking the b7 pawn and preventing his knight from moving right now, since he moved the bishop away. So depending on where he wants his queen, if he drops it back, I might have a knight here. Swapping knights, hit the queen with the bishop. He can block here with pawn to f5. That's a pretty weak structure around his king. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. I can swing a rook over and target this backwards pawn. He has queen here as well. But again, I just stick the bishop right there. And that's bad news bears. He has to swing all the way back over here. So it's more likely that he comes here immediately or he drops back, rather than it allows me to just continue chasing him. He has this square too. I missed that. He has e5, but that might run into f4. And he'd be forced to move again. So I don't know if I want to push f4. Maybe. Okay. So he just swings his queen over here, gets it out of the way. Probably a good move. And now my idea might be to swing the knight to the center and attack the two miners here, invite a knight trade because he will likely not want to give me the bishop pair. Maybe. I mean, it still strengthens his center if I take the bishop, so it's not all bad for black there. There's still a lot of pawns on the board, so the bishop pair isn't necessarily an advantage yet. But I also have this rook idea of bringing my rook in to the middle first. It's really not clear that I want my rook all the way over there. Limits this rook a lot. Maybe I want to put this rook here. Maybe. I think this knight move looks more appealing because, I mean, he's not forced to take. But if he doesn't take, I take the knight and I destroy his security. So he takes. I mean, yeah, I think he pretty much has to take that. I take back with the bishop. And I eye down this diagonal. It's one less defender around the king. There's no immediate attack, but I think that's a better position for me. That takes a queenside piece, trades it for a kingside piece, and potentially loosens up his king a little bit. What's his other option? Move the knight. He can move the knight. Allow me to take the bishop, strengthen his center with another pawn. That does attack my bishop, but he does swap. He swaps. Okay. Now I've got some pawn weaknesses around the king here. These light squares. This square looks very, very tasty for the knight. But his pawns are rolling, so I only have this square and this square. Let's just bring it back home. And he's cut the queen off here. So I might have ideas of queen here. Maybe sacking the bishop first. Bishop takes pawn. Maybe he's got this idea. Ooh, pushing f4 himself. I can attack the queen. And he can swing the queen back over. If I'm black, I think that's my move. I think f4 is formidable. What do I do against f4? I save the piece. I think I've got to save the piece. Retreat, attack the queen. And he can either swing his queen back over or he can counterattack my queen. He's threatening to take my queen with check if he does that. Okay, he wants to keep my knight out of that square. And I can't say that I blame him. However, does that let me pick up 3 pawns? Can I take take, maybe take. Oh, the king can come here to defend. Can I sack this bishop? Take that hook on h6, and if takes, can take here with check. He can block with the bishop, but I win this pawn and get a third piece, or third pawn, and a really exposed king. Calculate that thoroughly. If he doesn't take, I can just retreat the bishop, and I win a pawn. Free pawn. Okay, so critical line is g takes h6. Queen takes e6 check. And here he has the bishop block where I pick up another pawn, or king move. King to h7. And on king to h7, and I go knight takes f5, and rook takes f5, can pin the rook. Then he breaks the pin. Messy, messy, messy. I like messy. I'm down to 5 minutes. We're going to sack a bishop. The very least, I'm getting 2 pawns for the piece and a very exposed king. I think I bring my other rook in pretty quickly. Oh, he's got the queen coming in here too. Okay, he does block. So I've got 3 pawns for the piece. And I mean, I think at the very least, I might have knight here, threatening mate. So bishop takes, queen takes, and that's a perpetual. If I want a draw, I've got a draw, but I've got 3 pawns for the piece and an attack brewing, so hard to play for a draw here. Unless my attack squanders and my flounders, I guess is a better word. Okay. Well, bishop here. Doesn't that threaten mate immediately? I do not think that was a good plan. This is mate unstoppable, I believe. Yeah. Even if he creates space for his king to run, I check with the bishop. King goes to the corner, bishop retreats 1 square. King back to g8, queen check, queen takes bishop check, mate. So this is unstoppable mate. I don't see, yeah. So here, if I check with the queen, he gets to run. So I don't want the king to run. I want to check with the bishop. And mate in 4. Good game. Let's see if our bishop sacrifice was sound or not. 79.7% accuracy. I have played better before, but one blunder, one miss. Not my best game, not my worst game. So Chigorin French. This. I didn't like castling here, really. Black has a 0.2 edge here. I feel like that was the wrong queen develop. I don't think the queen should have gone there. And the computer kind of agrees because black goes from a 0.2 to giving white a 0.1. I think he probably should have retreated the queen. Back home. And that's a good move. Thumbs up for creating lift. Dead even game after that bishop development. Which I kind of underestimated this bishop retreat here. Because I really don't want to trade bishops and strengthen his center. But this square was also, I mean, it did attack his bishop. I mean, that probably was better for me just to go to the e3 to begin with. Liked my knight attack. Excellent. White's up to 0.7, and this is a mistake. A mistake here. I wonder why. Is my other ideas. Just bring the rook. That seems like a normal and natural developing move. Inaccurate, however. Lift the pawn. Lift the pawn, keep the knight out, keep the bishop out of the b4 square. Maybe prepare b4 myself. Okay. a3 was the best move. And that's a mistake. Okay. So here's where I get brave and sack a piece, which the computer says is a blunder. Should not have done that, but it worked out. So, a boo boo. 2.8, almost a full piece edge here for black. Taking was a blunder. What is my best move? If not, okay, I should just push this pawn and prevent this idea of black pushing f4. Maintain a 0.8 edge. Well, my idea was more fun. Black is right to take. I get 2 pawns for the piece, but it still says black has an edge. That's a miss. Should not have blocked with the bishop. He should have gone king here. That was where I was kind of not sure what to do. Oh, king here. It does start to look a little difficult here for white with only the queen and knight attacking. So that was a big risk on my part. And it paid off, but against a stronger opponent, it probably would not have. Giving up this pawn seals the deal back to me. It gives me back an edge. And that's a blunder because, oh, that's a miss. Threatening mate in one is a miss. How is threatening mate in one a miss? Oh, because my original idea? Well, it was a fun game. Thanks for coming to watch and come back for some more chess.